Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to Empire Toastmasters. And tonight, I'd like to open Empire Toastmaster Club number 01491511 is open for public. Please clap our hands together. Thank you. And first of all, as a president, I'd like to welcome all the guests, especially from overseas, and also the guests from some clubs in Indonesia. And thank you for coming and joining Empire Toastmaster. And tonight, I'd like to introduce our Toastmaster of the meeting, or MC. Please welcome Toastmaster Subhan. Toastmaster Subhan is myself. Yeah. So I'm calling myself. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you for joining the clubs. And I'd like to explain first about our theme for today is quotes and misquotes. Once again, our theme is quotes and misquotes. And during our times for delivering speeches, and don't forget, I'd like to remind all of us once again, our word of the day is focus. Our word of the day is focus. Okay. And as usual, in Toastmaster meeting, we have 3 sessions. But tonight, we are lucky because we are going to have 4 sessions. The first session is going to be prepared speech sessions, and the second session will be educational sessions, and the third sessions will be table topic session, and the last one will be individual evaluations with the general evaluations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to save the time, as usual, in every Toastmaster meeting, every session is always evaluated. Who is going to evaluate our meeting tonight? Please let me invite our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Arlan Setiawan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the meeting, my fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Good evening. My name is Arlan, and I'm your general evaluator today. Let me start with a quote. Gentle enough to nourish its roots, by Frank Clark. If you're working in a company, it's very common to receive performance evaluations from time to time, and most often coming from your immediate manager. So, and if you're working in a sales department, the evaluations or feedback is coming from your sales manager, mostly on things like how do you identify your potential buyer? Because if you don't know whether this prospect is going to give you an order, then you're barking at the wrong tree. So it's very important to their potential or not. And second thing, you have to be able to answer any kind of objections, especially about price. Now, how come your competitor's price is cheaper than your price? So you should be able to answer those questions. And the third is, how do you close the sales? This is the most important thing in selling. And it's very common, most salespeople, they cannot close the sales. They can answer all the questions. and they know how to pick the potential buyer. But when it comes to closing sales, then they have a problem. And selling is like a skill. Thing with the others, it can be learned by studying all the feedbacks you receive. Like in swimming, you receive your feedback from trainer. Now, my job as evaluator is to evaluate everything throughout the meeting. I will take note on everything that happens and is supposed to happen. And I will give my overall comment and feedbacks at the end of the meeting. Now, at this time, I'd like to introduce to you my evaluation team. And in turn, each of them will explain what their duty is. Now, let me start grammarian. Our grammarian today will be Winda. Winda is joining us from Netherlands. And she's actually a member of Bali Toastmaster Club. So Winda, perhaps you can explain what your duty is. Time is yours.
Thank you, Parlan. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuse of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. But I also would like to encourage everybody to try to use it. Please do not afraid to make mistakes in English. Don't forget, we are not native. English is not our first language. So making mistake is a common thing, but that will improve us and will help us learn, because then we know what's the right one. In every Toastmaster meeting, there's a day is focus. If I'm searching on Google, there are 7 definitions of focus. But focus could be explained as used as noun, also could be used as a verb. Let me share the definitions for focus as a noun. First is the center of interest or activity. The second, the state or quality of having or producing clear visual definitions. Sample sentences. Her face is rather out of focus. And focus is also a verb. It could be of a person, of their eyes adapted level of light and become able to see clearly on stationary object. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, please try to use the word of the day as often as you can. It's pretty easy. Focus. It could be noun, it could be verb. I'll give my report by the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Winda. Now, our next row taker GE team will be Accounter. Our Accounter today is Toastmaster Sanjung from Essential. Sanjung, it's all yours.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Alan, for this opportunity. Hello, fellow Toastmaster and the esteemed guests. I take out as a counter. My task is to write down how many times the filler words come out from your speech. Please don't feel discouraged because we are in learning speech. So filler words indicate that we are practicing and we are trying. This is for our evaluation for us for perform the better speech for the upcoming speech. And the second is my task is to write down how often you speak. The word of the day for today is focus. Say focus as many as at your speech. Focus can be both verb and also known as the grammarian Toastmaster Winda explained previously. So don't forget to say focus and don't feel discouraged and keep practicing. And I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you everyone. Back to General Operator DTM Arlan.
Thank you, Mr. Sanju. Now our next taker will be the timer. Timer is very important in this meeting. So our timer today will be Toastmaster Lindawati Hermawan. The screen.
Timer live, sir.
Oh, sorry, Toastmaster Lai.
It's okay. Thank you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Alan. Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm the timer for today. I will be keeping track of time for our menus, our prepared speaker, our table topic speaker, and evaluation. For our prepared speaker, today we have two speeches, both are icebreaker. So their time, I will change my background into green color when they reach 4 minutes, yellow when 5 minutes is yellow, red is the 6 minute. For our table topic session, the time is 1 to 2 minutes. Green on the 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds, I will change my background to yellow, and red on the 2 minutes mark. And for the evaluation, it will be green on the 2 minutes mark, yellow on the 2 minutes 30 seconds marks, and red on the 3 minutes mark. Please, speaker, wrap up your speech when you see the red color within 30 seconds when you saw it. Back to you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Alan.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lai. For your information, everyone, Toastmaster Lai is joining us from Sabah, Malaysia. Oh, our last roll taker will be the ballot counter. Our ballot counter today is Toastmaster Lindawati Hermawan. It's all yours, Linda.
Thank you, Pak Arlan. So tonight I will be the ballot counter. After each session, I'm gonna launch a polling on our Zoom for 30 seconds, and you can actually pick who is the best speaker that you choose. And by the end of our meeting, I'm gonna let you know who will be our best speaker, the best table topic speaker, and also our best evaluator. So good luck for all of our speakers. Back to you, GE.
To our timers, and that's all our GE. And I'd like to give the control back to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Distinguished Toastmaster Subhan.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Alan Setiawan. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, now let's go to our first session. It's called Prepare Speech Session. And now let's focus on our first speaker. Actually, we have two speakers for tonight, and I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is doing his project. Level 1, project 1 is like an icebreaker. And the duration of the times will be 4 until 6 minutes. And the title of the project is It's My Life Journey. It's My Life Journey. And the speaker will be Toastmaster Fridolin Sugiando. Toastmaster Fridolin Sugiando. And before the speech, I'd like to invite our evaluator or his evaluator, Toastmaster Titin Ningsi, to read the purpose of the speech. The floor is yours, Toastmaster Titin Ningsi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the meeting. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guests. Toastmaster Fridolin is on Level 1, Project 1, Dynamic Leadership. He is about to present his Icebreaker project. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Fridolin to introduce himself to the club
and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I will focus on his clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, and interest. The goal is for Toastmaster Fridolin to recognize the element of a basic speech structure, the balance between the preparation and spontaneity when delivering a speech, to demonstrate the self-confidence when speaking in front of an audience, identify his communication and leadership skill. The duration of his icebreaker speech is 4 until 6 minutes. Please welcome Toastmaster Fridolin. It's my life journey. It's my life journey, Toastmaster Fridolin.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Titin. Good evening, all. I'm very happy to meet you all in this meeting. Let me to start my icebreaker. Life is a challenge, and to get the way through a challenge is stay calm, be patient, and keep learning. As what I do now, I speak in front of people who are good in English. Ladies and gentlemen, dear members of Toastmasters and all audience. I am Fridolin Sugianto. My friends usually call me Aldo. I was born as the first child of 2 siblings. My sister now is 16 years old and I am 22 years old. Even though in my ID card, don't say so. Because in my ID card, I was 21 years old. It's really unfair to me. Why? Because everyone, the first problem they encounter when they was born until grow up is with their parents or their friends. But not for me. The first problem when I was born until now is my ID card didn't agree. I was born at 1999, but in my ID card, I was born at 2000. Oh my God, why like this? Ladies and gentlemen, I am from one most beautiful city in Indonesia. Maybe Mr. Arlan know where I'm from, or Miss Yenimo, the one most beautiful city in Indonesia. Oh no, yeah, I'm from Labuan Bajo, one most beautiful city in Indonesia. Now I'm in Surabaya. I am a student in Narotama University. I am civil engineering programs. Okay, that's some information about when I'm born and where I come from. Next, I will share some of personal information. My hobby is I'm one type people who like to try new things and learn new things. For example, today, in this moment, I speak in English in front of best people who have good in English. Because of my hobby, because I'm like to try new things, to learn new things. In Surabaya, I have joined in various communities and organizations. From the start, young people organization, Catholic organization, until the introvert organization. I have joined in there. I'm very happy because when I'm joined in there, I can open myself for everyone. That's a good point for me. I have aspiration to continue my education in Japan and German, because Japan and German have a good technology, produce the good technology in construction, because I am a civil engineer, so I like the Japanese and Germans. Because my activities, everyone or many people say I'm activist. I am activist because I've joined in the many organizations, many communities. My friends say you are activist, man. But for me, but I think I'm not. I'm not activist because I'm not give the best contribute for my country, Indonesian. Maybe when I am continue to education in Japanese, I back to Indonesian. I am build best Indonesian. And the last, I want to share some information. I'm a content creator. I have a YouTube channel, Cak Doser. So for everyone here, don't forget to subscribe my channel, Cak Doser. Yeah, there's some information about me. Thank you. I return to Mr. Titin. Miss Titin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fridolin Sugiando. And he is from originally from Labuan Bajo. Labuan Bajo is very famous with I think it's with the tourist object with the name I mean what do you call it? Komodo Island, yeah, it's Komodo Island, yeah, Labuan Bajo.
Komodo Island, yeah.
Yeah, Komodo Islands, yeah. It's one of the wonder of the world, yeah. And hopefully in the future you are going to be the best engineer, yeah, the best engineer. And I'd like to give, I think, 30 minutes to Toastmaster Lindawati, yeah, to launch the polling on Zoom.
Oh, no. It's after each session. So
after each session. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You.
Okay. So once again, thank you very much, Toastmaster Fridolin Sugondo. Welcome to the jungle of the public speaking of the world. Yeah. Now you are the big family of Toastmasters International. And now, gentlemen, proceeds. I'm going to invite for second. Has been almost for 6 years, yeah. And this April, yeah, she just turned 80 years old, yeah. And she's been joining Empire Toastmaster for 6 years as guest, and always beat the DAL members in table topic sessions. And I'd like to inform that tonight she is going to deliver also her first icebreaker with the title Prologue Chapter 0. And the durations of the time for until 6 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our second speaker, Janet Gloria. Janet Gloria with the title Prologue Chapter 0. And before that, I'd like to invite the evaluator to read the purpose of the speech. Please welcome Toastmaster Yeni Mo.
Thank you to our president, distinguished Toastmaster Subhan. Okay, tonight I will become one of the evaluators. It is my pleasure to become evaluator at Empire Toastmaster Club. The purpose of Janet Gloria of the Level 1 Project 1 is to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. First time I ever saw Janet is at Tom at one of Bro Arlan make the invite with the Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, and she is very great at that moment. So very great. So I'm so glad tonight I will become her evaluator. Okay, Toastmaster Janet, the screen is yours.
When I first started Toastmasters, I was extremely frustrated. Now I may be a really active member here, but my beginnings came from pure frustration. At the time, I did not have the will to attend a Toastmasters meeting. I was in 8th grade, around maybe 14 to 15 years old at the time. After a really long day of middle school life, having to come to school early, having to get through that day of school, and then having to do something extra, which is Toastmasters meeting, is like already very frustrating, especially for people my age at the time, as a middle schooler. Not to mention on that day, I already had another extra thing going on, and that was extra lessons after school. It is what the Indonesians would call les. And it was for math subject. And you see, I can see some of the faces here. When I said the word maths, you guys just look horrified. Me too, I'm horrified by maths, and I'm still horrible at maths to this day. Having to think of more calculations and seemingly endless numbers through all these pieces of paper that is like in your books, in your notebooks, they're horrifying. And obviously having those lessons after school would tire me a lot more than usual. However, after my math lesson ended, I really thought to myself that, oh my God, finally I can go home, I can shower, I can finally relax and have my time. But I was completely wrong. I was nowhere near the world of slumber and joy. When my dad came to pick me up after that maths lesson, I realized that he wasn't going the usual route that we would take to get back home. So I asked him in the car, where are we going? And he just said, Toastmasters, without any further elaboration. And you see, for some reason, Toastmasters has an extremely misleading name. Like everyone else, we thought that Toastmasters would be a club for like maybe perfecting how to make toast, cooking, or maybe a seminar for ovens or toasters. Not only was I confused on what the club actually was since he didn't provide further explanation, I was very tired and frustrated as well. But since, of course, as a middle schooler, I can't drive, I just followed what he wanted me to do to the Empire Club. When we arrived at the venue, it was the Empire Building. And for those who've seen the Empire Building, it is a very, very fancy place. In the inside and also on the outside. But as a first-timer at that building, when I looked at just the architecture of that building, I already felt out of place. I was wearing uniform at such a fancy place. And that kind of out-of-place feeling just got worse as soon as I entered the building. When I entered the meeting room in Empire, all I saw were people wearing formal clothing such as collared shirts, long black pants, and some even those shoes that you'd usually wear to work. And that's when I felt like I was the elephant in the room. Completely different, just some girl in uniform and a room of well-dressed people. But then after I kind of listened in to what the people were doing, I realized that this is definitely not a cooking club. This is an English club or maybe a public speaking club. And I wasn't too far from like the actual truth that Toastmasters is actually a public speaking club. And when I listened to the prepared speakers, when I listened to the table topics people, I realized, oh, this is definitely a public speaking club. And then, just when I was thinking of sitting out of the table topic session, because I'm a first timer, I want to know what's actually happening around me, I was forced to try and speak in front of everyone. At the time, I didn't know how to speak like without a debate format, because my basics of public speaking are all on debate and persuasive writing. So I felt very nervous when I came up to the table topics master and asked for my question. However, after I finished my speech, after everyone finished their thing, like the evaluation session, and the Tom finally officially adjourns the meeting, and the ballot counter announces the winner, to my surprise, I got Best Speaker. As a first-timer, I did not feel happy though, because I was just overloaded with confusion. Like, how did I get best speaker as a first timer? But well, this is when I realized that I can relate to Mr. Alan's story of how he actually came to be a Toastmasters member. It was pride. After the meeting ended, people came rushing to me and my dad asking me about my English and if I was raised out of Indonesia to get such perfect English. And of course, those kinds of questions just felt like really amazing to me. You just kind of feel like you're the best person ever in the world. So after I got those kinds of comments, those kinds of questions, I decided that I should keep coming back to Empire. And after 6 years of coming as a guest, as a high schooler, as a middle schooler, those years paid off as I kept practicing the table topic session. And it led me to who I am now. Just like what the President Subchan said earlier, I kept winning table topic sessions. I kept beating the adults. I'm not sure if that's like exactly a good thing or not. I've joined countless joint meetings with Japan, and I even have my own club now with around 32 members. And that's when I realized that sometimes bad things at one time is actually disguised as a good thing for the long run. And I feel like everyone should also know that lesson as well. Back to Tom.
Hello. Okay, everyone.
Yes.
So is it done, Janet?
Yes, I think maybe I got cut out in the last part when I said back to Tom, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I would like to ask our timer, are both of our speaker eligible?
Yes, Linda, both of them are eligible to be voted.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna launch a polling right now. You can see it on your screen. Please vote which one of the two speakers is our best prepared speaker for tonight. Please let's vote. I'm gonna wait for a while. Okay then, I've got the result. Now back to our Tom to continue.
Thank you, Toastmaster Linda. And thank you, Toastmaster Janet. Yeah. And I hope and pray. And if you always focus, one day you will be the youngest DTM in our division or even in our district 87. Yeah, I hope and pray. Yeah, so just focus. Okay. And next, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to our second session. Our second session will be educational session. It's very, very interesting because tonight we are going to have our guest speaker from United Kingdom. Yeah. Why I said she is very, very special? Because she is from United Kingdom. If I remember her, I remember my favorite leader in 1980s. Yeah, she was Wonder Woman, and now tonight we have also a Wonder Woman. Yeah, do you remember what I mean? Yeah, remember in 1980s we had the former British Prime Minister, the Iron Lady, Madam Margaret Thatcher. Yeah. And tonight we have a Wonder Woman also from United Kingdom. And let me read the short profile of our guest speaker for tonight. She is an author or writer of 20 books, 20 bestsellers, wedding speeches, and those books including 2 collections of quotations. And number 2, radio and TV broadcast, UK, USA, Singapore, Australia to UK from Europe, Singapore, and Malaysia. And her hobbies are blogs on travel, renovating clothes, and drawing caricatures. Tonight, she is going to talk about quotes and misquotes. Ladies and gentlemen, from Empire Toastmasters Surabaya, please welcome our guest speaker for tonight, Madam Toastmaster Angela Lansbury.
Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. I would like to share my slides with you so that if I say anything too fast or if you particularly like something, you can enjoy them. So I'm now going to share screen if the host will allow me to do so.
Yes, you are allowed.
Thank you. Can you see the shared screen?
Yes, Angela, I can see your screen.
So you should be able to see, let me go on to the quotation on focus. Is that right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, Madam Angela.
The quotation on focus, Alexander Graham, who invented the telephone, he said, concentrate all your thoughts on the task brought to focus. You can find a quote just about any subject you want. Now, I started collectations the way I suspect many people do. I wrote down one or two that I liked, and I kept them more or less at random. And then I had two ideas. One was I would put them on a piece of paper or on a card index. And then I found I had so many, I wanted to use them in speeches, but I had trouble remembering them. So I started looking for short quotations. And that was what prompted me to write my book, Quick Quotations, because I picked out short quotations, which were one-liners, or occasionally I abbreviated the quotations so that they were short. Now, what you find is that people have done this through the ages, because when I became a president of a Toastmasters club, I needed a quotation at every meeting. And I discovered that many quotations appeared again and again, but from different people in different versions. And very often the first version was quite long, interesting, but 4 or 5 sentences long. Then there came a shorter version, 2 or 3 sentences, then a 1-sentence version, and then a very short version, which is only 3 or 4 words. And this is a delight. It shows how quotations have got more succinct over time. However, it does mean it's very hard to say who wrote the quotation first. Now, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite quotations. My favorite quotation is from Benjamin Disraeli. And he said, when I want to read a book, I write one. Now, you may know what Benjamin Disraeli looked like if you have read Alice in Wonderland or seen a picture from it. Because here on the left, if you can see the slide, you have a picture of Benjamin Disraeli in a hat, and he is shown as the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. And I particularly like Disraeli because he had so many quotations which are relevant to speakers. In the House of Parliament, when he tried to give his first speech, and he said, I sit down now, but the time will come when you will hear me. He's also supposedly the originator of the saying, there are lies, damned lies, and statistics. But he said this came from Mark Twain. But if you go back to Mark Twain's writings, you can't find that Mark Twain ever said it. So a lot of people say Mark Twain didn't say it, but Benjamin Disraeli said it. This is what I found constantly when I was writing my book, Who Said What, that every quotation you've ever heard of has got at least 2 or 3 versions, and it's up to you to decide which version you want. Now let's move on to some more of my favorites. Another of my favorites is from motivational quotation from Helen Keller. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. As most of you probably know, she was both blind and deaf, and she had to communicate with a lady who'd been trained as an interpreter for blind people, Anne Sullivan. And as a result, Helen Keller went all over the world giving speeches and met the President of the United States. So she's very motivational because she's a prime example of what she said. Alone, you can do so little. With her interpreter, she can do so much. And that's a motivation for us, because if a blind and deaf person could speak, then really we've got no excuse. We can do it. And like her, we just need one person to help us get going. Another of my favorites is Charlie Chaplin. He said, "A day without laughter is a day wasted. What fun." He also had a serious quotation, "My pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must never be the reason for somebody's pain." Very thoughtful, that, considering it came from one of the world's great comedians. And again, he started off using gestures. So if you go and look at his films and see how he's showing, looking at something, reading a letter, and so on, you get the idea of using gestures and facial expressions to enliven your own speeches, as well as humor. Now, I should come on to more misquotations. I've got authors A to Z. One of the most famous quotations was from the man who landed on the moon, and he is supposed to have said, "One small step for a man, one giant step for mankind." This is the subject of great debate. If you go onto Wikipedia and look it up, you will see that if you listen to the recordings, he appears to say, "One small step for man, one giant step for mankind." Now, the difference between a man and man means mankind, whereas a man means a particular man, such as himself. Which did he actually say? The newspapers reported it the next day as a man, but the recordings appear to say it was a small step for man. So you can quote it either way and you'll be right or wrong, however you like to look at it. Now in the A's, another one that Toastmasters like is Aristotle, "Well begun is half done." Very good motto for speeches. And Jane Austen, one of the 3 top English-speaking writers who people like to quote. The start of one of her books was, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a fortune must be in want of a wife." That is much quoted. Now, another quotation from Napoleon was, "If you want a thing done well, do it yourself." I got some sound coming and I don't have the timer on my screen. Let me just save the timer. Otherwise, I should go over time because I could talk forever. Timer.
I will notify you when there's 5 minutes left. No worries, Angela.
Good, excellent. Right, so you can collect authors by name, and that's one good way to do it. There are 4 or 5 particular authors who are the source of a great many quotes. Winston Churchill, Oscar Wilde are 2 of them. Now I'd like to go on to quotations alphabetically again, but by languages. And I've collected quotations as follows. Arabic and Hebrew. A person who saves one life, it is as if they saved the world. And this is very often quoted by rabbis and by Muslim leaders. And many of these old sayings date back to biblical times, and the Muslims have inherited what Christians call the Old Testament. So these Old Testament sayings are common to all 3 of the major religions. So if you've only heard of them from Arabic or from Hebrew, it can be quite a surprise to find that another religion quotes it as one of theirs. And it is one of theirs because it's common to all 3 of the religions. Now, from Canada, from Brazil, I don't yet have one. But if you have one, I think perhaps you could give it to me. And the other one I'm searching for is a quotation from Malaysia. If you have one, let me know. Canada, the one that comes to my mind is from World War I. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row. This is one of the war poems. From Chile, we have Isabel Allende. For women, the best aphrodisiacs are words. From Chinese. Now, this is often quoted by Toastmasters. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. But who said it? People often say it's Lao Tzu, and it's often misquoted as being from Confucius. I always thought it was from Confucius. You'll find lots of sources say Confucius. Who said it first? Well, up to you to decide who you want to quote. From Denmark, we have Hans Christian Andersen. And I'm inclined to quote the songs from his films. There once was an ugly duckling. So that is my quotation from him. But he also said, life is the most wonderful fairy tale. And he wrote his autobiography called The Fairy Tale of My Life. Now, E for England, Shakespeare. It's astonishing the number of phrases we have that come from Shakespeare. My favorite is neither a lender nor a borrower be. Can anybody else like to give me one from Shakespeare? You can either wave your hand or put it in the chat box. So one you think of? Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Meaning, why are you called Romeo? Said by Juliet, and many more. Now let's go on. French. Lots of lovely French words from songs. Edith Piaf. Je ne regrette rien. I do not regret anything. And from Einstein, we get lots of quotations from Einstein. God does not play dice. Now you can interpret it two ways, that everything is designed. God doesn't do things randomly, that everything is by design. Now, from the Hebrew Old Testament, from the book of Ruth, she said, "Thy God shall be my God, and thy people shall be my people." She was a lady who was widowed, and Boaz left the straw from his harvest so that she could pick it up. And the interesting thing about this phrase is that Hebrew is full of these sentences which have a balance. A, B, A, B. Thy God, my God. Thy people, my people. Each sentence has words and whole phrases that are copied and balance each other. And some old copies of what the Christians call the Old Testament and what the Jews call the Bible, written on scrolls, and they have these signs that show you how you sing the Bible, because it was originally chanted so that people could remember it. Now, Gandhi, be the change you wish to see. That's a favorite, but one of the ones I like is the one about the customer is not an interruption, he is the purpose of your work. However, people say that nowhere during Gandhi's lifetime was this written down. He didn't write it and nobody quoted it, and yet after he died, it became one of the most quoted sayings. Now, I looked for something from Indonesia, and if you know an Indonesian saying, please put it in the chat box or send it to me. I found Sukarno, who said, "No task is more urgent than that of preserving peace. Without peace, our independence means little." He also said, "What can we do? We can do so much." Now, letter I, Ireland. We've got wonderful songs. When Irish eyes are smiling, and in Dublin's fair city, the maids are so pretty. There are loads of lovely songs from Ireland. And the same goes for Italy. We have a song, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not hard to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Que sera, sera. A pop song from Italy. And then there's a lot of opera. La donna è mobile. Woman is fickle. La donna è mobile. Dum, 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 da, dum. You may recognize the tune, you may recognize the words. Now, I would like to ask you to give me some of your favorite quotes, which we can add to the list. Perhaps you kindly put your hands up, or can we have the Toastmaster of the day picking on some people and asking them? Do we have some favorite quotes?
Can I?
Yes, please do.
Yes, because today I'm the general evaluator. So I take a quote about evaluation or criticism. So the quote is like this: criticism like rain, should be gentle enough to nourish a man's growth without destroying its roots, by Frank Clark. I repeat, criticism, like rain, should be gentle enough to nourish a man's growth without destroying its roots, by Frank Clark.
Who was Frank Clark? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't know.
In my book, Who Said What When, I went to the trouble of looking up every person and writing something about them. And when I came to do my speeches, I thought, I haven't got time for all this. It took me 3 years to write that book. I can't waste all this time looking up lives. So I just put the names of the people, which is what you get on Brainy Quote. Thank you for that one. I shall add it to my list and I shall look him up. Can the timer please tell me where we are with the time now?
Angela, you have 10 more minutes.
I have 10 more minutes, good. So I can go through some more of my favorite quotations from around the world. From Russia, we have Chekhov. He said, when a pistol is on the wall in Act 1, it must be fired in Act 3. When a pistol is on the wall in Act 1, it must be fired in Act 3. This is very often quoted at writing courses, especially playwriting, when they're reminding you that you mustn't throw in red herrings. You must make sure that everything that's in your novel or your play is there for a purpose, and any threat must be carried out. Chekhov also said, all unhappy families are happy in the same way. Now from Scotland, there is a song, I'll take the high road and you take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before ye. That's a very sad song. You can tell by the tune that it's sad, and it was written by somebody who was a poet, and it was when he was about to be executed. On a happier note, there's a song about the Gordon clan. A Gordon for me, a Gordon for me. If you're nae a Gordon, you're nae good to me. Now, of course, nowadays it's not politically correct to only want to marry or to stick to people of your own clan, but it's such a jolly song. I always loved it as a child. You probably know the one from Spain, from Cervantes, who wrote Don Quixote. He said, faint heart never won fair lady. That's often quoted. Now, because I'm in Singapore, I thought I've got to find something from Lee Kuan Yew. And he had lots of good quotations. He had one where he said, there's no point in asking the people what they want, because a man who's not completed grade 6 cannot have an opinion on democracy. He also had another quotation about meet if you disagree with him, he will meet you in a dark alley with wearing knuckle dusters. Very odd and threatening thing to say. So he said lots of very tough things. Now, to go back to England, the UK, then again there is a song, maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I think of her wherever I go. And Johnson said, he who is tired of London is tired of life, because he thought there was so much to do in London. Now, another nice song from New York, New York, New York. If you can make it there, you'll make it anywhere. And then another song, I like to be in America. Everything free in America. You might recognize that from a musical. Then what about the letter W, Wales, Dylan Thomas, a poem that's often read at funerals. Do not go gentle into that good night, but rage, rage against the dying of the light. And it expresses the wish of the mourners that the person had not died. So there are sayings from all around the world for every occasion, for Toastmasters. If you're looking for it, you can look up poets, you can look up Nobel Prize winners, you can look up politicians, presidents of the United States. May say, well, why have I quoted mostly English-speaking people? Because this is an English-speaking club. If I went to a French club or a French class, we'd all be quoting Joan, and I think therefore I am. What happens is when you translate a phrase, the translation changes it slightly. So you get various versions of it. My mother used to quote Talleyrand, are given to clothe our thoughts. And I didn't know she was quoting a French writer Talleyrand until after she died. And I looked up the saying and found there indeed it was. However, there's somebody who said the exact opposite of that. He said, wasn't to hide our thoughts. And he was a Nobel Prize winner, Portuguese. He was an atheist, and he took Israel. He wrote a view of Jesus as a minor character. He said the exact opposite of Talleyrand. He wasn't a person who had to be tactful. He was a person who told the truth as he saw it. Was the opposite, but I still like the original as our thoughts or to our thoughts. It's to say one thing or to say the opposite. Famous last words of lots of people are often in dispute. From Disraeli, he was asked Queen Victoria to visit him when he was, no, she will only want me to take a message up to Albert. Of course, Albert had died, Victoria had died many years previously. So I think Disraeli was quite amusing. He was always very witty. Even when he was dying, he was able to be witty. Another famous last saying from the robber and police killer in Australia. His last words are supposed to be in the newspaper the day after, and the court records by the court reporter don't report him as saying that at all. And there's somebody who has a website all about misquotations, taking every quotation you've ever heard of and saying, this is not what they actually said, someone else said it. Another famous one is from Marie Antoinette, who is supposed to have said, let them eat cake, because people couldn't, she was told people couldn't afford the cake before. Which is on record, She was blindfolded when she went to be guillotined, and she accidentally trod on the foot of the man about to guillotine her, and she politely said, "Pardon, monsieur." It was last words were asking for forgiveness from the executioner's foot she'd trodden on. Rather different from the view we have of the woman who said, "Let them eat cake." Finally, come to my last words, which are from Shakespeare. Shakespeare said, "All's well that ends well." I hope that my talk has ended well, and I would like to end it well by saying, if I've missed a favorite quotation, or if you find another, please give it to me so that I can add it to my next book of quotations, which I'm now compiling to be an ebook. I'll be very grateful. Thank you so much. Back to you. All's well that ends well. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Angela Lansbury, for the wonderful educational session, ladies and gentlemen. Please give her a big round of applause.
So, Tom,
Hello?
I think we have a certificate to present our
Oh,
speaker.
sure.
So, Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hi, can everyone see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, may I have Angela? Hello,
Hello,
Angela.
can you see me?
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of you and also the certificate. Give us your best smile, most beautiful smile. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you.
Would you like to take picture for all of
Yes.
us first before we proceed?
Yes,
DTM
please.
Arlan?
That would be a good idea.
Okay, everyone, please turn on all of your camera. We're gonna take a picture right now. Our timer light. And then Bernadetta, Gracia, Lisa, please turn on your video. We are going to take a picture right now. Okay, I'm gonna take it. And 1, 2, 3, smile, everyone. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Toastmaster Linda Wati. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Now we go to our third session. It's table topic session. It's quite challenging. And I'd like to invite our table topics master. He is from the flower city of Bandung. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Yusuf Chandra.
Thank you very, very much for a very warm welcome, the President Subhan.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, I will be serving as a table topic master. And I would like you to volunteer yourself to answer these table topic things, especially those who haven't got the chance to speak. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite any one of you who would like to be the first speaker. Please, anybody? Except all the speakers? Anybody? Nobody wants? Oh my God. Oh, Toastmaster Taufik, great. Toastmaster Taufik, I'm going to share the screen. But first of all, I would like to ask you, what number would you like? From number 1 to number 8. Mr. Taufik, can you speak out? What number would you like? Anybody can hear? Hello? Mr. Taufik.
Linda, try to help her unmute.
We cannot hear anything.
Okay, I cannot see. Hello? Hello? Is it audible?
Yeah, is it Mr. Taufik?
Yes, I am Taufik.
Okay,
but I cannot.
I'm Taufik, 1 to 8.
But I cannot see the question.
No,
because
wait,
too
wait
small,
a minute.
you
What
know.
number do you want? 1,
No,
2, 3, 4, or 7 or 8?
No, let's say number 2, but I cannot see the
Okay.
things here.
I will share you number 2. Can you see it now?
I cannot see, too small.
I think he's using mobile phone, so it's best if you read the question.
Okay, I will read it for you then. Toastmaster Taufik.
Yes.
Oh yes, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. Toastmaster Taufik. Oh yes, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. The time is 1 to 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, in my opinion, whether it's right or wrong, but in my opinion, for me, I have to learn from it. I don't want to run, but I learn the challenge from it. That's back to you.
1 to 2 minutes, Pa. You still have got time. Okay. Is that all?
That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Now you can point out somebody for the next speaker.
Let's say Pak Suryati. Pak Suryati.
Pak Suryadi.
Pak Suryadi.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I can see. Pak Suryadi, what number would you like? Except number 2, 1 to 8.
I don't see the question.
You tell me first what number, then I will show.
Number one.
Number 1. Can you see it?
No.
Okay, I will read it for you then. Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolate. Master Robert, 1 to 2 minutes. Stage is yours.
Life is like a chocolate.
Life is like a box of chocolate.
Life is like a box chocolate.
Yes.
My opinion, life is always change every time, or always change every time. Bad or good in our life is to change every time. Maybe it is my opinion. I'm sorry, cannot too much. Thanks.
Thank you very much. You don't want to say anymore. The time is not green yet. No more? Okay, no problem. Toastmaster Suryadi, can you point out somebody else? for the third speaker. Toastmaster Suryadi, are you still there?
Enough. I'm sorry, cannot to continue. It is
Okay,
enough.
can you point out somebody to be the speaker?
Toastmaster.
Okay, I'd like to.
Yeah, Fanny actually raised her hand.
Fanny, okay, I can see it. Okay, Fanny, what number would you like, Fanny? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3.
3, great. Can you see or should I read?
I only see you.
Me,
There's no
okay.
screen. Why is it?
Okay.
Yeah, from I think only the first person that we can share the question, but on the second one and now the third show nothing in the screen.
Maybe try to reshare the screen, Pak Yusuf.
Yeah, I try to share. Wait. Once again, yeah. Wait a minute. Yep. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Grit is good.
Right. Grit is good. 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Grit is good. I disagree with this. I disagree with this statement that grit is good. On the opposite, I think grit is not that good. For example, I have that experience that if we do invest in capital stock or do something investment like in foreign exchange, when we gain quite a lot and then we and if we are so greedy and we don't want to to let go to take the profit, but we still okay, we can gain more and more, but in the end what you get is a loss. So so like in the investment or something like that, you have to greedy is not that good. We have to have a very good control on the emotion. That's my opinion from my experience, but I'm just whether is it good or not is depend on each person, and also depend on the what you the grid is in this statement, like if grid in like in the study, if you want to, it's not actually we can say grid or not, it depends. So if we want to achieve something and we still cannot feel satisfied and you still want more and more, but in a good way, in positive way, so it's good. But so it depends what is the situation. I think like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fanny. That it depends whether it is good or not, depend on everyone. Thank you. Now, Toastmaster Fanny, can you point out somebody else for number 4? Toastmaster Fanny? Toastmaster Fanny? No. Anybody want to speak? Come on.
One moment. I can appoint someone, right?
Right.
Okay, I'd like to appoint Gracia Lisa.
Gracia Lisa, TM Gracia Lisa, you there? TM Gracia Lisa seems not to be there.
Okay, or David Guntur Wijaya.
David Guntur Wijaya. Okay, David Guntur Wijaya, are you there? Why not there? Come on. David Guntur. Not yet, sorry. So anybody else there?
I would like to call Michael Iskandar.
Michael Iskandar. Yes, he's smiling. Yes, Michael? Okay. You will get number 4.
All right.
Okay. We are who we choose to be. Michael Iskandar. We are who we choose to be. 1 to 2 minutes. The screen is yours.
Okay. As far as I know about our future, it depends on what we choose to be. For example, like if we want to be a president of Indonesia, you have to do some studying in politics area and so on. Then you get chosen to become the leader of that partai, we call it. And after that, you can increase yourself and so on and so on. Then in the end, you can achieve who you choose to be. For example, like me, myself, I never be able to choose what I am at that time because I'm still studying like in the hospitality industries. But now what I chose is to be an expert in cupping, for example. So therefore, I'm choosing the pathways in order to get that title and also learning in the progress to achieve what I choose to be. So here we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Now, a timer. Do I have got more time? I think I've got 4 more questions.
Go for 2 more.
2 more, okay. Now, Michael, can you point out 1 more? No? Michael?
Hold on. Let me choose. Can I choose the host, Linda Wati?
Choose the host? Yeah, why not?
Come on, Linda.
Wah, it must
Linda?
be joking ya. Ayo.
You will get the next one.
Okay, it seems like I have no choice, right?
No choice, Linda. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta deal with it.
Linda, I'm the king of the world.
Whoa, okay.
King of the world. 1 to 2 minutes, Linda.
I'm the king of the world. It feels like the greatest feeling ever. But let me tell you that it's not that perfect to be the king of the world. Because somehow you will have such a huge expectation on your shoulder. And then you will keep on carrying that burden every single day. Sometimes you will not be so sure whether you're not actually good enough or not. You kind of feel, oh my God, people keep on saying, you're awesome, you're the king of the world. But then again, you try to look at yourself in the mirror for real and actually have a deep retrospection. Am I really that good as they are telling me to be? But then again, we are all king of our own world. We can make decision on every single thing that happens to us, whether it is something from our reaction or we just gotta move along. I think that's all from me. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you very much. It's an awesome answer. I am the king of the world of myself. Linda, you got the privilege to choose the last speaker, please.
Okay, who should it be? Maybe Toastmaster Salim Yanto?
Salim Yanto, Toastmaster Salim Yanto, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
I will give you the question. You cannot choose. This one. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, let me try. Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Actually, I'm not too kind of people that who almost look in front of a mirror. But mirror, in my opinion, is we can reflect ourselves, myself, about what we are doing, what about what I do to another people or person like that. So I thought from mirror we can learn something, something good before we do something to another person, to other person. We should think twice. What kind is my word is good or for them or not? Where is the timer? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So by listening to his speech, it's the end of our table topic session. I would like to ask the timer whether they are all qualified. Hi, are they all qualified to be chosen?
Only four are eligible.
Only 4 are eligible.
Yeah.
So somebody is going to show the poll so people can choose.
Give me 10 seconds.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'll return the control back to the general, to the Tom. Tom, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Yusuf Chandra from the flower city of Bandung. And while we are waiting for the host for 30 minutes, yeah. You ready?
Maybe we can do the polling later together with the evaluation. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, now let's continue to our last sessions. It's individual evaluations and the general evaluation as well. And now I'd like to invite and welcome our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Alan Setiawan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the meeting. Now I'm back to move on with our evaluation session. We will start with individual evaluation. First evaluation will be led by Titin Ningsi. She will evaluate Toastmaster Fridolin. Titin, the screen is yours.
Thank you, TTM Arlan. Life is a challenge. Life is not always perfect. Like a road, it has many bends, ups and downs, but that's its beauty. Toastmaster Fridolin has explained to us how he overcame his life challenge. He introduced himself to us and focused to share some of his personal information. Now we know Toastmaster Fridolin better. Toastmaster Fridolin has chosen an interesting title for his icebreaker speech. It's my life journey. Toastmaster Fridolin, you open your speech with an interesting quote. Life is a challenge, and you explain about yourself in the body of your speech. You close your speech by neatly summarizing how you turn those challenges into a motivation. You were well prepared with your ID card. You engage with the audience well by giving questions to the audience about your hometown, which is one of the most beautiful cities in Indonesia. And you invite your audience to subscribe to your YouTube channel. You show interest to your topic and to your audience. You have delivered your speech quite comfortably. Toastmaster Fridolin, if I may analogize your speech as ice cream flavor, I would say that it consists of one flavor, that is vanilla. And it will be much better if you could add some more flavors. Those flavors will be your gestures. As your position was too close to the screen, thus we can't see your gestures, and sometimes your forehead and chin were cut. So for your next speech, you may want to work on adjusting your position from your device so that we can see your gestures and upper half of your body. To challenge yourself, you might want to consider maximizing your gestures to communicate in addition to your spoken words. In conclusion, I enjoyed your informative and inspiring speech. Congratulations, Toastmaster Fridolin, for successfully delivering your icebreaker speech, and looking forward to listening to your next speeches. Thank you, and back to you, DTM Arlan.
Wonderful, Master Titi. Now we like to call upon our next evaluator, who is Yenny Mok. Yenny Mok will evaluate Dr. Janet Gloria. It's all yours, Yenny.
Thank you to our general evaluator. Congratulations, Toastmaster Janet Gloria. You already did a very well project number 1, level 1, with the title Prologue Chapter 0. I believe not only me, but all of the audience love when you're delivering your speech. And you have very, very great pronouns when you're using your English. When I was at your ages, I believe I'm not that good. But yes, you did very well. You opened the story, you're sharing with us about how you become or how you know about Toastmaster for the first time. And you use a very great sentence like the elephant at the room. Yes, because it's only you, the only one that wearing a uniform. and then attend the Toastmaster meeting. It's very quite like, am I in the wrong room? Like that, right? That kind of feeling is very funny for me when I imagine it. And it's very good. You bring all of us to that moment to imagine. How is your feeling when, at that time? And about your closing, you close with a one sentence that is very great. Bad things is look like good things for a long run. And for the place or the point that you need to check at your next speech is because you are very fluently in English, you talk too fast. So try talk slow little bit because we are using online. Not everybody have a very good connection in each of us. So it's better you talk slow down a little bit and less of your hand gestures. Yeah, I know that maybe you are kind of person that really want to all out, that really want to show how your feelings and want to show what the point that you want to share to all of us. But try to less your hand gestures because if that's too fast, and this is because again this is online, you can make the audience feel a little bit dizzy like me, not as young as like you. So just be more slow down and less your hand gestures. Okay, for your next challenge, I challenge you first, don't read the note because I show that your eyes only at one side. Maybe you try to read the note. Next time, you just try to make a bullet note and then use the sticky note, type side of the camera so nobody know that you're cheating there. Okay? Then challenge yourself not to look at the screen but look to the camera. That's for me. Back to our GE.
Well, another fantastic evaluation from Jenny Mock. Now we like to hear the report from my team. First, we like to call upon our counter. Our counter today will be Toastmaster Sanjung. So Toastmaster Sanjung, it's all yours.
Distinguished Toastmaster Alan for the opportunity. Hello everyone. It's my turn to deliver my report as I enable the counter. Firstly, allow me to share screen my report. Host, could you please to activate the
Yes,
sharing
you
screen?
can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hope anyone can see my share screen. My report for the or filler word. Firstly, for feedback speaker is Toastmaster Fridolin. Your between 8 filler words and none of word of the day. And the second speaker, Janet Gloria, non-filler words and non-word of the day or focus. And for the second session, for table topics, there is Toastmaster Taufik. Your filler words is less than 3 and non-word of the day. And the next is Toastmaster Suryadi. Your filler word is between 4 and 8 and none of word of the day. And the third table topic speaker is Toastmaster Fanny. You say more than 9 and none of word of the day. And the next Toastmaster Michael Iskandar is less than 3 and none word of the day. And Toastmaster Indawati, you say non-filler words and non-word of the day. And Toastmaster Salimianto, you say more than 9 and non-word of the day. And Toastmaster Titin, you say non-filler words and you say less than 3 word of the day. I hear you say once focus word in your evaluation speech. And Toastmaster Yeni Mok, you say less than 3 filler words and non-word of the day. And another role prayers that I hear side focus is President Subchan, and our educational speakers, Toastmaster Angela. That's all report from me as and WD counter to you. Hopefully this evaluation can improve our performance for the next speech. I will give back control to GE, Distinguished Toastmaster Arlan. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sanjung. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go on further, we like to have a vote first. First, a vote about who is the best speaker for the table topic. Now you can do the voting, cast your vote.
Cast your vote, everyone. I've got 6 votes here, 8 now, 9 people votes, and then 10, it's coming up, 11. Okay, maybe I'm gonna close the polling for best double topic speaker. And now we're gonna have our poll for the best evaluator. Everyone can choose right now. It's only between Titin Ningsi and Yeni Mok. Everyone, I've got 8 votes, 9 votes, 11. Wow, it's coming up so fast. And we have 15 people voted out of 19. That's very close, everyone. Maybe I can say this is the majority vote. Okay, thank you. Back to you, GE.
Well, thank you very much, our valid counter. Now we'd like to move on to our last 10 members of GE, which is grammarian. So our grammarian today is Winda. It's all yours, Winda.
Thank you, Parlan. I actually have quite a long notes here, but I would like to take on brought up your attention to some. First of all, there are so many good usage of words because we're talking about quotes. Even the table topic section using quotes. So I will not mention all of those, but I would like to take one note, which is from Janet. She said, bad thing at once is actually a disguise of a good time. That's really nice, but you can also say blessing in disguise. And now for some that we can improve. As a non-native speaker, I realized and I noticed that we still need to be adjusted with tenses, past, present, future, plural, because some people mentioning we're supposed to be using es or s in the end, but they didn't use it, or they did use it, but it's actually for singular. And also a note for someone, if I'm not mistaken, one of the speaker mentioning the year when the person was born. When it is related to a year when you were born, you don't have to mention the whole number like you reading in math. You don't have to say, for example, I'm using the year I was born. You don't have to say 1984. You can simply say 1984, 1966, 2010. That's related to year of when someone's born. And someone also said, I like a new thing. I like to learn new thing. To make it simple, you can also say, I am an adventurous person. I also heard someone say, do something investment. It's kind of waste a word there because you can make it short. Do some investment instead of something. Instead of saying don't agree, you can also I disagree. Not satisfied, unsatisfied. And this is, I don't know if it's a habit because when we're using a written language and when we're texting, we used to shorten a lot of words. But when you're speaking, it is better to use a full word. For example, I heard someone say great pronounce. It's best to say great pronunciations. And also about, I know our tongue is not, our tongue is, we have Indonesian tongue. Some phi or f could be read as pe, but we can practice that. There's some quite a major notes that I took here. When someone said outer, I need to reread again and again, because when you said outer, I automatically think of someone who is older or the elderly. But what the person meant was actually an outer or the outer. So instead of using they, a strong they for that word, you can start using outer. And I also, last but not least, someone said, be more slow down. Best way is to say, be slower. In English, there's words that you can say more and then followed by what the meaning of the word to make it either more higher or more slower, lesser. But there's also slow, slower, slowest. You can use that instead. Those are my notes. The meeting is really great. Everybody is trying to do their best. And as a non-native speaker, once again, I keep pointing it out, as a non-native speaker, all of you are doing great. Thank you. And that's, I will turn it back to Parlan.
Thank you very much. A very detailed report from our grammarian. Now, gentlemen, it is my turn to give my evaluations. And I'll give you my report, what was happening during the meeting and before the meeting. Well, before we started the meeting, some people did the greeting. We don't actually really assign any particular person to greet participants who are just coming in. It's mostly done by either one of us, as AA, Tom, Vice President of Education, Vice President of Membership, or PPR, or whoever. And usually our VPM is very, very active in sending messages through the chat box, welcoming everybody, but today he's not around. I think it's very important to initiate a small talk sometimes so participants feel welcome. It's the same thing when you're checking in a 5-star hotel. You're usually greeted by GRO, stands for Guest Relation Officer, nicely dressed. And while walking to the room, this GRO will explain to you the facilities of the hotel, and he or she will hand over the key to you with a great smile. Yeah. So I guess as a guest, you will feel welcome. So who are the persons who are working behind the scenes before the meeting starts? Zoom master. They are Zoom or the host is Toastmaster Linda. So she's in charge of opening the room, out any technical issue in general, providing IT support. She came 30 minutes earlier prior to the assigned time. And she will pick the host as her backup. Sometimes the Zoom master has to help unmute and mute, highlight the speakers, depending on the situations. Zoom master is very, very active, very, very busy. And I think Toastmaster Linda did an amazing job. Now our president, distinguished Toastmasters, officially called the meeting to order, then welcome the participants, including the guests. He gave a very great opening speech and introduced who is himself. But today we miss his singing. And our Tom Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Supan, short form of Master meeting, Tom. It's easy to say Toastmaster of the meeting, sometimes in one sentence, 2 or 3 times. We want to do it as a tongue twisters, of course. Tom started the meeting with clear explanation about the 4 sessions that we have today. And when there is physical clapping or handshaking like what we have before COVID, but I think Tom has somehow created beyond, which is very enjoyable and fun. And Tom has introduced and explained the meeting theme in the prepared speech sessions. Tom has introduced each speaker with a bit of speaker's background, announce and the speech title and timing. Transition between those 4 sessions was quite smooth and no major hits. Throughout the meeting, Tom has displayed enthusiasm with friendly smile to make the audience more. Now, table topic master. The table topic master has properly explained the purpose of table topic and selected the appropriate and fitted the meeting theme with 8 questions. Toastmaster, table topic master introduce each topic briefly, less than a minute, and guests were invited to participate just to get a feel of it. And Toastmaster, table topic master, did keep track on the time. Very good. So we are not behind or over schedules. Now the GE team, grammarian. We are so blessed today. We have very special grammarian, important from Toastmaster Winda. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Winda. It was a very detailed report. Yeah. Toastmaster Winda explained about the word of the day and incorrect use of English usage, and also some excellent words, phrases. Yeah. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Winda. Now the other role taker, our counter. I count everything, the filler word, pause word, and overuse the words. Toastmaster Sanjung. Yeah. Now the timer. I don't know if you could see, I got some problem with my Wi-Fi connections. I see the virtual backgrounds. It's just a small window here. Something wrong. This is the first time I encounter this strange phenomena. But overall, the timing ran very smoothly. And ballot counter, Toastmaster Linda. So she juggled from Zoom Master to ballot counting. Yeah. Using polling from Zoom, which is much easier for the audience to cast their ballots without taking trouble looking for the link and from the chat. It's very, very simple. And as a result, we have a very good proportions of voters. Yeah. In conclusion, the whole meeting was well planned, well executed, and I really enjoyed the meeting. Exciting, fun, lots of takes away, especially from our education sessions. I really liked the sessions, and one of the quotes I like very much, which is, "A day without laughter is a day wasted," from Charlie Chaplin. Because recently I just a passion, which is stand-up comedy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Ends my report. And I'd like to give the control back to our Toastmaster of the meeting, distinguished Toastmaster Supan.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Alan Setiawan. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the most important time. It's awarding or Hall of Fame. Please welcome Toastmaster Lindawati.
Okay, thank you very much, our President DTM Subhan. Okay, now I would like to share a screen. No, where is it now? Let me find it first. Oh my God. Screen sharing failed to. Okay, sorry for the delay. So for our best speaker, it goes to our newbie, Janet Gloria. Please give a big round of applause for Janet. Congratulations on winning the best speaker for your icebreaker project. Now, moving on to the best table topic speaker. It's kind of weird to say because I need to mention my name. So it goes to me. Thank you everyone for voting me. That means a lot. And moving on to our best evaluator. Seriously, guys, it was very close. As I said, there were 15 people who votes, right? And one of them got 8 votes. Meanwhile, the other one got 7. So it was very, very close. Without further ado, hi, welcome, Toastmaster Yenny Mock. Well, let's give her a big round of applause. Toastmaster Yenny Mock, congratulations for winning this. Okay, that's all from me, guys. As your ballot counter tonight, I give it back to our president, DTM Subhan.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lindawati. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have 4 minutes to go, and we'd like to hear some comment from guests. Because now we have 16 participants. Can we have a comment from guests? Someone who is using FIFO 1606. Hello, sir. Oh. Yes, sir. May I have your comment, please, about the meeting?
Okay. I am comment.
Yes, sir.
I like in this forum English Misquotes because I new person in the group. Maybe next time I want to meet in this meeting again. Thank you, Mr. President. I can enter here. Thank you very much. Thank
you are welcome. Sir. May I have your name, please?
My name is Gempur Santoso. I am
Mr. Gempur Santoso.
Gempur Santoso. I am in Sidoarjo, Jawa Timur, Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, please join again 2 weeks from now. Okay.
I will join again next time.
Thank you very much. Next.
Guntur.
Gempur.
Gempur, yeah. Gempur, we have one of the brother of Mr. Gempur, Mr. Guntur, David Guntur, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guntur means thunder, yeah. Mr. Thunder. Okay, 1 minute.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Arlan especially, and wishing you all the best. And it's been such a long time never joined this meeting, and tonight it is my really a big pleasure to join this meeting again. But sorry for the maybe there's something wrong with my device, cannot access the camera. So I couldn't access my picture, share my picture. So well, hopefully I could join the next meeting. And sorry for being late, so I couldn't follow the table topic session. But this meeting's very great. The atmosphere, I love it. I love it as always. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Guntur, from Surabaya. And ladies and gentlemen, because now the time has shown 9 p.m. sharp, and on behalf of Empire Toastmaster Club, club number 014915 and 11, I'd like to adjourn the meeting and see you again 2 weeks from now. Hopefully, we can meet again. God bless you and good night and have a nice time. Bye-bye.